topic of the week, Tennessee absolutely slobber knocked Kansas City this weekend, and Mahomes let the ball go a little recklessly at a few fumbles, a few interceptions. I don't know what's going on down there in KC, but it's not looking great.
No, it's not. And we've talked about how bad their defense is, and they were bad again last week against Tennessee. They actually did a decent job on Derrick Henry, which surprised everybody. But A.J. Brown, Julio Jones, and that passing offense made big play after big play. And Kansas City just had no answer for Tennessee. And look, we've got to bring up the reality. Patrick Mahomes is not playing like a top 5 quarterback right now. I mean, where do you see him right now where he's playing and how he fits in with the rest of the league?
Uh, I see him probably top 10 for sure. Here's the thing. Here's a stat that I read, okay? I read Mahomes is probably out of that top 5. He used to be number 1. He's out of the top 5. He's in the 5 to 10 range. Probably closer to 5 than he is to 10. And if you have a 5 to 10 QB, that's fine. That's good, even. That's fine. But when you have a 5 to 10 QB and you have a 30-second defense, maybe even worse, because I'm sure there's a couple of college defenses out there that are better than what Kansas City's been putting on the field, it doesn't work. That's not okay. You're not going to win games doing that, and clearly they haven't won games doing that either. So I think this is just laments. You can do everything, but you need to be balanced. You can't. These high-powered offenses aren't going to last forever. They're going to slow down eventually. And if you neglect your defense, this is what happens.
Well, not only did they neglect the defense, right? I think you got to put some of the blame on Andy Reid, who's the head coach, Eric Bieniemy, who's the offensive coordinator with Kansas City. Look, we all saw Patrick Mahomes. He had the funky no-look passes and the crazy scrambles and the jump balls, the left-handed throws, and everybody in the media oohed and awed and how different this was. Well, it's easy to do things like that when you're the most talented team in the NFL, which they were for a couple of years, right? And now all of a sudden they're not as good on defense. Obviously, they're terrible now. Their offense is not as good. Offensive line's a little worse. Tyreek Hill's a step slower. Suddenly you do all those funky plays, you throw terrible interceptions. And where's the coaching? Where's Patrick Mahomes' coaching from the Kansas City side? Either he's not getting the coaching or he's not maturing as a quarterback to handle that. And look, at this point, you know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of the sneakerhead guy from the State Farm commercials. If he keeps playing like this, I don't know. Did State Farm kidnap the real Pat Mahomes and we're watching that sneakerhead? I don't know. But I tell you what, he has been bad and he's not getting any better. Every week it's another really bad turnover and he just can't overcome it. And he needs to if Kansas City is going to turn it around.
I think you hit it on the money. I think Baker and Patrick have been kidnapped by their respective agencies. And, the insurance industry, it's big money out there. I think they have kidnapped the real QBs, put their stunt doubles out there. And this is what we're seeing. Guys who can't play football. I saw those guys early on in their career. They could play football. These guys who are on the field, they're not playing the same football they used to play. So I don't know who we need to call. We need to get like a private eye out there, someone to track them down. But this ain't it, and this isn't gonna work too well for them going on.
No. It certainly is not. And look, we got to give some credit to Tennessee, though, right?
Oh,
this
yeah.
this was a team that lost to the New York Jets, and I had picked them to do very well this year. And at that moment, I was like, well, they're going to stink. There goes my prediction. I'm going to look like an idiot. And they've turned it around with back-to-back really, really good wins, right? They beat Buffalo at home. They get Kansas City at home and dominate them. I mean, this was a statement win for Tennessee. They look like a contender going forward. What do you think?
It's quite easy for them to turn it around. In the beginning, there's two options: hand the ball to Derrick Henry or don't hand the ball to Derrick Henry. They chose to get fancy. They didn't hand the ball to Derrick Henry. What'd they say? Oh, well, maybe we should start handing the ball to Derrick Henry. Voila. He's now almost double the rushing yards of the second place rusher. He has double the touchdowns of the next person. He's like 800 and some odd yards, close to 900 rushing yards and 10 touchdowns so far. Just give him the ball. He's built like a Mack truck. He's deceptively quick for how big he is. You give this guy the ball, he's going to bulldoze over everyone. And I was noticing this when he runs. He looks like it's almost like Lamar. I see Lamar do this sometimes. They look like they're going so slow, but yet they're blowing past all of these high-level athletes. So I know they're running very fast, but he has some smoothness in his run as well. So just hand that guy the ball, good 30 plus times a game, and you're golden. Tennessee knows what the formula is. They just tried to get away from it.
Yeah, I think at this point, maybe they're worried about him wearing down or maybe getting injured or something like that. But I think they've realized that the only way they're going to win is if they give him the football and give him the football again, and then give him the football again and repeat that, for the next 3 plays. Look, I think Tennessee has emerged as a real contender in the AFC strictly because of Derrick Henry and play actions off of Derrick Henry. It's really, really incredible.